Good evening, and welcome to Negative Space, an actual play for KULT Divinity Lost. Tonight I'm your game master, Jason Fryer, writer, game designer, and general curmudgeon. I've been lucky enough to work on KULT since the second edition in the 1990s, and I'm glad to share some hopefully unsettling and spooky moments with you all this evening. Our story is set in Willow Hills, a fictional town in upstate New York. Our characters have been summoned to attend the will reading of a former colleague of theirs, Matthias Cole. Professor, historian, and overall eccentric. They all have ties to him, some intimate and more intimate than others. And despite their diverse backgrounds, they all have reasons to benefit from their companion's inheritance. In our last episode, they traveled to this idyllic town in the Adirondacks. Along the way, they encountered some unsettling events that revealed that not all is well in Willow Hills. In the last episode, we closed with everybody going up to their rooms, trying to get some sleep, try to process what had actually happened to them that evening and what is actually going on in Willow Hills. And that's why it's after they've turned out the lights, listened to the loons off in the distance, seen the last flickering street lamps going out. When they all awake, it's to darkness and pain. You feel your arms behind you, shackled, rough metal, cutting into the meat of your wrists. You're sitting on something even harder, maybe wood, maybe metal, maybe stone. You can't tell. The darkness is absolute. You can hear breathing near you. It's when you kind of recognize maybe it's the same patterns as people that you know. What do you do?
Hello. Who's there?
All the rest of you hear Thomas's voice very, very close.
Thomas?
River.
Thomas.
What is going on?
Ada?
Rocky?
Ada seems to be to your left and River to your right. Garrett, you hear River to your left and everyone else to your left. So it seems that you're sitting in a row.
River starts kind of rocking back and forth, side to side, pulling against the chains to see how close anybody is.
First of all, pain absolutely ignites in your wrists. The metal is obviously serrated on the inside. And you seem to be chained back. So somebody has, if you pull too far too forward or get yanked, you could probably dislocate your shoulder.
Oh, fuck. Nobody move. The shackles are serrated, just cursing and trying to, like, they do still, I mean, in that, like, little, like, you can kind of keep, I got my hands behind my back right now. You can kind of keep your hands in place, like, even if it's just a foot to either side. Is there anybody else there?
It's kind of weird. Yeah, you can feel them next to you, but the ground feels almost soft. There's rocks, maybe grass or something.
Our feet feels
No, your feet seem to be free. Whoever's put you here knows that if you move too much, you're going to get hurt.
So are we like on our, like in a kneeling position or like sitting on our rump?
Yeah, you're sitting on your rumps on something very rough.
Like where our feet are on a separate surface?
Yeah, it's just like a
chair.
It's like being on a chair.
Okay.
Or a bench.
Are we
like
dressed?
A bench? Yes, you're clothed. You can feel clothing on you.
Does Garrett at all?
Unless you went to sleep. In the buff, yes, you are wearing clothes.
Is it just whatever you were wearing to sleep?
Yes.
Okay. So River is in some silk boxers, and that's it.
Okay.
The finest.
You were about to say, Garrett?
Does Garrett recognize any of this?
Something
I hate
feels
that.
intrinsically familiar, like an old memory that's not yours. The smell of, you can smell pine trees now, the loam of the ground. And you can also smell something like incense.
Yeah.
Like
I hate that you asked that question specifically.
Garrett's very quiet hyperventilating turns into a shriek of rage. Like he is having a full 10-ton meltdown in his area.
Yeah, I'm trying to get away from. I'm like edging as far as I can without extreme pain away from Garrett because I don't need to be part of this.
I'm guessing that we wouldn't even be able to tell that that's Garrett's voice.
Yeah, it's very animalistic. Can you give me can you give me an avoid harm so you don't actually hurt yourself?
Oh, well, I mean, you like think very okay, I rolled a 16 about it. Like, okay. I guess he has a survivable tantrum.
Yeah, you push it to the limits, but nothing snaps.
Yeah.
That's when you hear. Sorry, go ahead.
Are our hands like crossed behind us, or is there a chain between the shackles?
Yeah, it's like an actual shackle. Very familiar design.
So,
in fact.
Right, I would be trying to feel around the outside of the shackles themselves.
Yes, and you can feel kind of designs etched into the metal. Yeah, you've held those shackles long enough that you recognize them, even just by touch in the dark.
I rolled a 14 for cursed.
Oh yeah, you feel them starting to tighten. In fact, like it's impossible, but somehow the metal is contracting. And you can feel the bones in your wrists starting to ache. Blood starting to wet your fingers and your palms.
Each of you, I must recommend that you do not move. Stay as still as possible.
Thank you.
And that's when you hear, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Come from the darkness. Each of you in your own way recognize Matthias's voice.
Fuck. Matthias?
There's a soft pop as somebody does a match. And off in the distance you see a figure starting to light these tallow candles on an altar. It's the only shape that you can really figure out. And in the yellow, bloody light, you realize that you're sitting on a pew, an old stone pew. The darkness around you is still so absolute that you can't really see the edges of the space you're in. But as he lights more and more candles, you realize that you seem to be in an old earthen church. Although the cross above the altar doesn't really look like Christ. Christ didn't have breasts or other female characteristics. Its face is covered in black hair, so you can't actually see what this figure is, but you definitely recognize Matthias's shape. Especially Ada. You've seen him running off in the distance.
Yeah.
And River, you've seen him in the dark, so to speak. Yeah, you probably don't want to move around too much. Not yet.
This is a dream. This is
oh,
someone must have slipped something into my drink. Perhaps the tequila was
Thomas.
There must be.
I know that you've always been a rational man, and I know that you've always denied the truth. But trust me, I've seen things. And that's when he turns around, you see the bloody sockets where his eyes used to be. One seems to have been gouged out. There's a rake, like an impact. So the orbital bone is white and red. The other one looks like it's been stabbed. But both are missing. Half of his face is ripped and torn from impacts. There's very round bruises and contusions all across his body, which is completely naked and broken and brittle and bloody.
River pulls forward against the chains to as much as they can possibly bear with the pain. And like there's a look of worried compassion on his face. And he's calling out to Matthias. Matthias, what happened to you?
I'm sure you'll find out soon enough.
What is this? Let us out.
Hammer.
I can't let you out. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that I can't. Only you can break the chains. And you need to break the chains soon. It's why I called you here. I'd hoped to be alive at the time, but... And he does this smile, and smile is broken where the hammer probably went in.
River's just sobbing at this point and reaches back. Is there like a chain like that you
yes.
can like kind of bend your hands back and
yeah, in fact,
grab a chain?
If you look back onto your sides, you can see that everybody's changed in a similar way.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the figure on the crucifix a carving? Okay, great. Better. That's better. I had to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
The more you look, and the more your eyes adjust to the darkness, you can see. When I say it's an earthen church, it's like somebody has built one of those, those old sod farmhouses.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like pieces of tree, pieces of rock have been incorporated into the actual building itself. There's all these odd, religious symbols. You see the old Catholicism there, but you also see the paganism there. It's just like real something maybe 200 years ago, incorporating everything of that area in that culture.
You goddamn idiot! What did you do?
Didn't listen to you, apparently. You might not want to keep on pulling, Garrett. And I'm sorry. I really did hope to be alive at the time when I met you and told you everything. Now, he looks around. I have no eyes, but I can see. I just can't speak.
Go.
Why?
Kind of drags.
Why the shackles?
Towards you. They keep you from the truth, Thomas. And you know the ones. They definitely keep people from the truth. They keep it bound. You need
The truth of what?
The truth of everything.
There's no
beyond
truth
behind
of everything. That's not. There's no.
There is. Thomas.
He's standing like several feet away, and then he's like in your face. You can almost feel the spittle splatter. I'm telling you right now, there's more than your stupid rationality. The shit that I used to research, it's nothing. It's absolutely drivel. Everything I did was drivel, but I still found the truth. I'm just not in a position to appreciate it.
This is a dream. This is a dream. There's
Darling.
no such thing as ghosts. There's no
Darling.
such thing as ghosts. There's no such thing as ghosts.
Matthias.
River. His
What
voice
chains?
finally gets.
These chains?
He goes over his, like, draws his hand over his face. The ones that you see and can't see with. The ones in your flesh, the ones in your eyes, the ones in your mind. You need to break them, River, especially you. Lead them.
River is gonna try to pull at see if he can wrap his hands around the chains that are holding it to the pew, I imagine, and try to yank him out.
The pain immediately ignites again. Just don't do that, River. You're still thinking the wrong way. He leans over and his lips are kind of ragged, broken, bruised, but he places a soft kiss on your mouth and kind of breathes into you this rank, hideous, rotten smell. And then whispers, remember what happened, and remember words are more than chains. And that's when you guys all wake up in your beds.
Cool.
Immediately grabbing wrists.
Each of you kind of sees like a faint bruising where the chains were, but by the time the rest of the morning light enters your room and intrudes upon your life, they're gone. The pain's kind of just a memory.
River.
And I just want to make sure, is everybody okay?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Holy shit, yes. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Okay.
Better than okay.
Big green. Yes.
And just for the record, Thomas, the shackles are sitting right beside you on the bed.
Are they bloody?
Yes. Still little pieces of fresh meat. But it's not yours.
Probably have to taste it to be sure.
I roll off the bed on the other side. Go into the bathroom, pick up one of the washcloths, walk back out to the bed. I put the washcloth over them. I pick them up. I open the drawer and drop them into the drawer which I assume also has the Gideon Bible or whatever the form.
Yeah, the form
Bible. The Giddy 8 Bible.
The Giddy 8, yeah.
The Giddy 8 Bible.
The Giddy Up Bible?
The Giddy Up Bible, yeah. The Giddy Oof Bible. And closes the drawer behind it, goes into the bathroom, and immediately begins to rinse out the evidence of any of the blood or anything that may have gotten onto the washcloth. And then turns on the shower to as hot a water as can possibly come out in this hotel, and waits for the bathroom to steam.
Okay. Yeah. That will help cleanse away these troublesome thoughts, these obvious, impossible thoughts that keep on nagging at you. So.
Garrett bursts out of his room, barfs off the side of the railing into the parking lot, and laughs like a crow being eaten from the feet up.
I will emerge from my room with the sound of that,
Yeah, you're kind of sharing balconies.
Yeah.
So yes, you can
Just,
see each other.
Go outside and turn. I'm like.
And you see Evelyn Fox having a cigarette down in the parking lot. She just looks up and immediately kind of slinks away.
Morning. Garrett, I'm going to ask you a weird question. And I think I already know the answer. Did you just have an insanely fucked up dream about Matthias? With shackles and chains and...
You hear a boom, 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 boom on your door.
It's unlocked. Because I want to be killed. At this point.
River bursts into the room with a silk eye mask, half cocked on their head, and their silk boxers on. And it's like,
yeah, Ada's still in her pajamas too. It's just a shirt that just says chaos across it.
What was that? Visibly shaken, trembling.
Come here. Yeah. Garrett's on the balcony next door. Come here. You had the dream too, I assume.
Yeah.
You were there. I was there. Garrett was there. Thomas was there. He's not going to admit that he was there.
It smelled so bad. Is that what happened to him?
Noah did say that something about a claw hammer. Sheriff Noah.
Just collapses on the ground up against the railing. Just crying and gasping for air.
Tell you what, there is some incense in my bag on top of the dresser. Get the blue box. Go ahead and light a stick. Not the red box, the blue one. It's a nice smell. It's got lavender in it. Take deep, even breaths. It'll help you calm down.
It better be a fucking joint, Ada.
It's just incense.
That.
It's good incense.
River just leaves and goes back to their room. It comes back and, whatever will happen. But yeah, right now.
Okay.
Ada will look back over to Garrett.
Garrett apparently went to sleep in his dress slacks and socks and no shirt. I don't know. I got some guesses. I'm not sure. I want to look at something. I think when I tell people not to do a thing, they're supposed to not do a thing. It's all supposed to be theoretical.
Matthias was never one to only look into theory. Because in theory, there's no difference between theory and practice. In theory.
I told him. Well, I guess you go make sure River's not running in circles, and I'll go see if Thomas has decided what his story is yet.
Sounds about right.
How about we go?
And when Garrett turns and walks away, his entire back is a mess of scars.
Ooh.
Well, I'm sure that'll come up eventually, or it won't. And here I thought I had weird scars. River?
Let's go to Garrett and Thomas. Thomas, you've kind of scoured yourself clean. I'm assuming Garrett's knocking on the door.
I quickly wrap a towel around myself. Just a moment. Throw on some pants and an undershirt. Open the door. Ah. Good morning.
Good morning. So, you tell me that you didn't have a dream, or are we gonna just get down to dealing with it?
No, I don't believe that there's any denial.
Good.
While there were some definite, yes, it's quite disturbing. Are you all right?
Me? No, I'm
Yes.
fine.
I don't know that I've ever heard another human being make sounds of that sort.
You still haven't. Do you want to get dressed before we start troubleshooting this, or you want to flounce around in the towel?
I can finish, yes. Would you like to just meet back here? Would you, I assume with your directness, you will be involving Ada and River?
Well, it was a 4 for 4. We all got our cards punched tonight. So yeah, River's not taking it well.
Then perhaps we allow a few moments to compose ourselves, or would you like me to follow you somewhere?
I'm getting breakfast. I'm doing fuck all with an empty belly. This isn't happening. I don't care if we do it here or somewhere else, but I am having food.
Yeah, you can. I mean, the
coffee is definitely
the place does smell of food. I mean, it's wafting through. I mean, the place does smell enough that you can smell breakfast being made downstairs.
Yes, please allow me a few moments to complete my morning rituals, and I will meet you in the green room.
Ooh, that's a good idea. All right, see you for breakfast.
And as we leave, Thomas getting ready, you're still in the bathroom. Something's been nagging you when you're looking in the actual shower. There is a hole there at the back of the tub now. Very small, cracked porcelain, but it's definitely wasn't there a little while ago.
I lean over.
Yeah. I'm going to give it to you. It almost looks like a bullet hole.
I walk back into the other room, and you see him, and he takes the notebook out of his jacket, begins to scribble some notes, walks over to the drawer, opens the drawer back up. Are the shackles still in the drawer? nods his head, makes some notes. And the KULT is okay. Grabs his jacket, whips it around, button tight in the front. One look in the mirror, straightens everything. Grabs his
as you look
key.
in the mirror. Yeah, as you look in the mirror, you see someone standing behind you.
Fuck all.
Are you turning really
yes,
fast?
Whips around very quickly.
The room's empty. The one thing you did notice, it was a naked man, wet, with a perfect bullet hole in his head.
There was such fucking this place. And you hear him start to hum a song to himself as he grabs up his hotel room key and walks out into the hallway.
Okay. Over to Ada and River.
So when Ada gets into the room, she sees a outfit laid out on the bed already, and on the dresser, a couple lines of cocaine. And River is in the bathroom doing their facial routine. And you can see that there's already you can see at least 2 lines are gone.
River.
Yeah.
Are you really gonna go through this day at Mach fucking 3?
Look.
4 lines?
Those
are a little
2,
excessive.
Those 2 are for you if you need it. I don't know how you're handling this. You just look like it was just another fucking day. I mean, I've seen some crazy shit, but did you see what he looked like?
I did. And it was upsetting, and I'm not going to pretend it didn't startle me. It didn't upset me. I want to understand what we saw. I understand why Matthias looks like that, but I want to understand the rest of what we saw.
You understand why he looks like that? What do you mean?
He was beaten to death with a claw hammer, River.
But why was he beaten to death with a claw hammer? So you don't know why?
I know why he looks like that, and why he looks like that is because he was beaten to death with a claw hammer. I don't know the motive.
Have you, you saw him. He was completely fucking destroyed.
He was. Come here. I'm gonna pull him in for a hug. Mid moisturizer. I don't care.
Yeah. Still, and just starts crying again.
Yeah.
Lucky I got the stuff that doesn't run.
Yes. I'm very. I won't pretend that this doesn't upset me. I'll cry about it eventually, I'm sure. I know he was really special to you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had to see that.
I mean, he's just so fucking charismatic, even in death.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I said I would go to breakfast, brunch, whatever, with Sheriff Noah.
Right.
Will you come with me, please? Because I don't know if the other 2 are going to come with me, and I don't want a chance being there alone because you saw him too.
Oh, I got him on camera. It's on my phone. If we ever need to use it,
okay.
It's always good to fucking video the cops.
Have you watched it? Like when he pulled over? Have you watched that?
No, not yet.
Pull out your phone. No, I gotta know now. I gotta know if the camera saw what we saw.
Okay. Here, you take a look while I'm just don't scroll more than like.
You know me. You can
Okay.
trust me not to scroll around.
I appreciate you.
I have seen enough of you, River. I do not need to see any more of you or anyone else. Not this early in the morning.
I am a vision, darling.
You are? I could not handle you.
Couldn't afford me, Ada. You're a grad student.
Also, yes.
In anthropology.
Oh God, I can't.
River goes over and gets the phone and opens it up to the videos that he got of the interaction with the police officer, and hands it over to Ada while he's getting ready the rest of the way.
When did River start filming?
It was just the one from when at the rest stop.
Okay.
Oh, at the rest stop, not when we pulled, not when he pulled us over. Okay.
Not when he pulled us over.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get the video back. The whole thing seems to be pretty much perfectly normal. But Ada, you notice whenever the officer kind of moves in front of a light, he casts two shadows. Like someone is standing, like literally standing over his shoulder.
Mm.
And he doesn't seem to notice it.
Don't like that.
What? What don't you like?
Oh.
And the only reason you catch it is because you're specifically looking for spooky shit.
I'm specifically looking for spooky shit concerning Officer Noah. And so I have to say, so at the rest stop with your video, when he walks in front of that light source by the bathrooms, he casts two shadows, and it almost looks like someone's standing over his shoulder.
Wow. I'm definitely grabbing my pepper spray then.
I'm gonna remind you, River, that the only people that were there at that rest stop was you, me, Thomas, Garrett, and the officer that we could see in that moment. So
do you think we should get the rest of these guys to go? I mean,
I plan on it.
Garrett for sure looks like he can handle himself in a fight.
He has definitely seen some things. I can tell you that much.
And speaking of Garrett, we're actually going to shift over to him while you two get ready to go down. Garrett, are you going directly to the green room? Or kind of wandering around the hotel first?
For thoroughness' sake, he is like throwing on his shirt and tie again and like splashing water on his face.
Okay.
Which is his morning routine. And yeah, I mean, he probably takes a little bit of the long way around, just giving himself 5 minutes to think. But overall, he's going straight there, kind of, worry stoning his tattoos that are a different shape than yesterday.
Mm-hmm. You almost immediately bump into Sharon as she's pushing like another cart of food towards the green room. Looks like an actual buffet. The little silver trays and containers. She sees you and immediately lights up. Oh, Mr. Garrett. I hope you slept well.
What sleep I got was pretty good. How are you tonight? How are you this morning? Good morning. Smells lovely.
Oh, thank you very much. I thought the four of you would like to enjoy some out of town cooking, since you come from the big city, don't you?
They do, but I'll take it anyway. What'd you find?
Well, I've got some French toast. I don't know if it's particularly French enough for Mr. Rivers' taste, but I tried the best I could. Eggs and bacon and sausage. It comes from the local farms, you know.
I guarantee you, it's Sharon, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That was Ben checking his memory. I guarantee you, Miss Sharon, they're going to be absolutely thrilled with all of this stuff. Look, we're used to right from the farm down the road. They're not. They're going to think that's a treat.
Oh, wonderful. So are you from here or around here?
I've got kin all over the place here. All over the county. I grew up.
I get it.
In town name I do not know that isn't here. I grew up in Michael's Falls.
Oh, Michael's Falls. It's near the Canadian border, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to just turn around and go home and I start smelling maple syrup, so I'm not really sure.
Yes, I've always tried to go over the border at least once a year.
Why not? If it makes you happy, go for it.
And she continues pushing it over into the green room. It starts setting places for everybody.
Yeah. If she will let Garrett will help. Because that's how he was raised. She's not going to put all this food out by herself. If he can carry a chafing dish over and put it somewhere for her, he absolutely will.
She fusses at first, but it's, because you're an out-of-towner too. She's okay. Thank you.
I will not let you do this by yourself. My mama is still alive and she knows where I live.
Well, we wouldn't want to upset your mama.
No, we do. Thank you so.
Sorry, that's the GM. If you could just put, I believe, Mr. Thomas. I made some tea for him since he seems English. He is English, yes.
Seems so to me too.
Good morning,
Mr.
Sharon.
Thomas. It's a pleasure to see you.
Yes, lovely to see you as well. Coffee, perhaps?
Oh, yes, of course. I have a pot and I have some tea as well. So whatever, and orange juice, apple juice.
Tea would be perfect.
Oh, wonderful. I'll get that to you right away. And she starts making.
May I ask two small favors of you?
Of course.
Firstly, do you have distilled water?
I can certainly try to find some. Yes.
Excellent. I would like some distilled water, preferably a gallon brought to my room at some point. Secondly, the tea that you are preparing, I assume, is some sort of probably English black tea.
Yes, sir.
Yes, excellent. Could you possibly procure in some way, shape, or form for my stay a loose leaf instead of the, hard-packed tea available?
I can certainly try that. Yes, absolutely, sir.
Excellent, thank you.
And she goes about making
Garrett gives you your
red rose tea.
What did you say, Ben?
Garrett gives you you're dreaming big look over her head from behind her.
He's simply doing as you instructed.
Yep.
She busies herself, and she's almost floating through the room now at this point.
This looks lovely. Thank you for all of the work that you have done to prepare this for us this morning. Thank you.
Of course. Miss Fox said that she would join you later this morning. I'm not really sure when, but do you need me to pass any messages to her?
I do not. I can wait for her arrival. Have you seen the sheriff?
He did call. He should be showing up within the hour or so. Time is different here. I'm sure that by the time you're done your breakfast and gotten yourselves ready for the day, he will show up. I can phone him.
That's unnecessary. Thank you. And I begin to fill up a plate.
Okay. Sharon kind of runs into Ada and River as they're heading in. Oh,
I do have one question.
She turns around.
What's on the plate? No.
Oh,
Duke is asking Jason.
What's the plate?
What's on the plate?
What's on the plate, man?
Now, are we asking?
I don't mean the food. I mean
what's in the box?
Exactly.
You're scraping the food away a bit because she's already loaded your plate. You could push some of the food aside. It seems to be a wonderful picture of some kind of bent over farmhouse.
So same as last night.
Yep. It's very earthen. A very earthen farmhouse.
And I put the plate down and
you gotta bring it on camera, Duke.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. we gotta see it.
See it. Yes, and according to your notes, yes, it does look semi-similar to what you experienced in your dream. Probably the same dimensions, yeah. You would think that. Same time period. Probably coincidence. So Ada and River, Sharon, just basically, it's a pleasure to see you. I hope you're well. I've prepared your plates.
Thank you, Sharon.
If you need anything else, I'm just around the corner.
Do you do Irish coffees?
I can try.
As long as it has some sort of whiskey in it.
Oh,
that would be. Yeah.
Oh.
And just coffee. It's one of those mornings.
Oh.
Yes, I'm sure I can. Hair of the dog, dear. That's just a touch of the hair of the dog. He's
of course
had a long evening.
Oh, I hope the loons didn't keep you up.
No.
Because we have quite a few.
They're a different species than what I'm used to from in Washington, but loons are loons.
Yes, they can be loud sometimes, but some
I'm just
people
glad
love it.
It's not mountain lions.
Oh, right. No,
mountain lion screams are worse.
We do have lynxes, though.
Oh, they're just big kittens.
Yes. So I will get your. Oh, did you need anything, Miss Ada?
I just had a quick question. Sheriff Noah said he would meet us for brunch, but we never really talked about where. Can you call him and ask him to come meet us here?
Oh, absolutely. Mr. Thomas and Mr. Garrett said it can wait, but I can definitely help you. Perfect. I'll make a phone call while I'm making your Irish coffee.
Thank you, Sharon. You are a gem.
You're fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Mr. River. And off she goes.
So River is dressed in like absolutely Miami Vice pastels, a jacket with the
Show the
sleeves.
sleeves. Show
And the lining is a really like bright floral pattern. So you get like that nice contrast and the pop of color underneath. Rose tinted glasses, short shorts again that like just are like an inch below the tail of the jacket.
Purple
like
shorts.
right there. And some excellent shoes for walking in.
I mean, it's a perfect cocaine outfit, if you ask me.
Yeah, it really is. This screams 80s coke fiend.
It's one of those
Ada is wearing a very cute, it's a very 70s dress, so they're like adjoining decades. Because I found this in my closet and I have to wear it. It's pretty short. It shows most of her thighs and legs. And she's wearing sensible sandals, but they're still like, I don't know, cute, strappy leather sandals. But yeah, she's immediately taking a seat, and she's about to tuck in and then pauses, remembering the plate and leaning back, like half afraid, and she's scraping a clear place on the plate, afraid that she's gonna see another fucking caiman.
No, this time you see looks like a old oak tree or something.
Oh, okay, it's just a tree. Great.
River flops down in a chair, starts to munch on the food.
Oh yeah, to be honest, this is some of the best food that you've ever had.
This is so good. It's one redeeming quality of this place. And her name is Sharon.
Usually gals named Sharon are pretty solid.
Yeah, it's all natural food, so you're definitely not used to it if you've lived in the city too long. So it has those very earthy tastes.
River just puts the flask out on the table for everyone. You all seem to be doing just as fucking well as Ada was.
Mr. Whitman has confirmed that we all seem to have a shared experience in our sleep.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, and you seem so fucking calm about it, Mr. Titterington. What do you know about it?
In the short amount of time that you and I have known each other, River, I would call myself measured. Calm is not at all what I am feeling at this moment.
What do you know about all of that?
Well, Freud had an idea that there's such a thing as dream telepathy. And while this kind of coincidence is a often debated topic, there can be an understanding of group dreams, yes?
I've had dreams.
This mutual dreaming. Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize. Go
ahead. I could smell his breath. I've never smelled anything like that in a dream. I don't think I've ever smelled anything in a dream.
Then you have now experienced a form of lucid dreaming. We just happen to have a shared experience within the dream. Yes, was it disconcerting? Absolutely. Am I shaken by it? Of course. This was graphic and disgusting, and it was downright scary. The pain that you felt within the dream. I assume you felt the pain. I felt
that
the pain
wasn't
from the
the
shackles.
fucking scary part. The scary part was what Matthias looked like.
Agreed.
Shackles. Fuck the shackles.
Sharon kind of comes in around that moment and gets very, very quiet, very, very small and tiny, and she lightly puts your Irish coffee beside you. It looks like she probably Googled it. It's got more whipped cream and like some mixed mashed, straws that she's kind of
This
put
will
across
do nicely.
So
thank you.
I have a new
she's the best
please.
part of this.
That ever happening to her?
Yeah, I'm like, can Sharon just be the perfect thing, the perfect like light of all lights?
We all have that as a that's a line for all of us.
We are now in on that line.
she's our like +3 relationship. Like, please, nothing happened to Sharon.
Failing that, give us a chance to avenge her.
Okay, we're spending plot points to protect the Sharon. Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
please. At least let her survive.
Okay.
That's a really loaded word, Caroline. That is an extremely loaded word in KULT. Survive.
Survive.
I am aware.
She starts slowly retreating.
Yes,
Sheriff Noah will be here in about 10 minutes.
If you could allow some privacy, and when he arrives, please wait for us to welcome him.
And we'll get you. Yeah,
Right.
We need to have a private discussion amongst ourselves. Please.
Thank you.
Of course.
Hey.
As she retreats at the door, and you reach for your tea, Thomas, your hand clinks because it seems to be shackled to the chair. You're not sure when the shackle showed up, but it's there.
Right. We're gonna check. I have several questions.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think about raising your arm to pick up a cup of coffee, right? Until it gets stuck.
Yeah.
And you all hear it.
I'm gonna say that River at that exact moment when it clinks sets down their tea, like their up onto the saucer, so they don't think they don't hear it, as it doesn't register to him as that quite yet.
And I look down.
Yeah.
It's just lightly put on. I mean, you can actually manipulate it to get it off, but yeah, it's definitely your shackles.
Thomas?
Yes, I do.
What was that sound?
The Romans.
I'm gonna need you to say the thing that doesn't make sense, Thomas.
The ancient Romans.
Nope. What made the sound, Thomas?
There was a king, actually a warrior, who challenged to
what the fuck
be
is going on?
I'm gonna ask you.
His name was Cylon.
River just gets up and walks around to look at what is over by Thomas.
And I lift my arm out from the chair as far as it will go. I'm not trying to hide it. I'm just trying to explain.
Does it look like the shackles that we were shackled in?
Very similar.
You wouldn't have seen them. They were behind your back. Well, I guess I guess you
look to the side.
I could have looked to the side. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Others, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Are his wrists bleeding?
No, which is odd.
Okay. So initially, like, recoils, but at least he's not fucking bleeding.
Okay, so Cylon, was it?
Yes.
The Roman?
Yes.
Did he...
Cylon. He attempted a coup. And this coup was put down, and he and all of his followers were summarily executed. But typically in that time, the Romans they had all sorts of means for execution. They were quite prolific.
Yes.
In their dealing of death. This group was shackled, throats slit, piled into mass graves, burned, and left as examples.
Is it the fucking shackles that made that noise, Thomas?
This particular set of shackles, yes, were an object that Matthias was adamant about.
Adamant in procuring?
Obtaining.
Adamant in you wearing?
No. In obtaining. And to obtain these for Matthias, and this was very early on in my dealings with him, and I was very driven in obtaining him and retaining him as a client.
Did you bring the shackles with you from your room? I'm going to need you to tell me the answer that makes no sense.
That is one way to put it.
Do you remember bringing the shackles with you from your room? Yes
travel. The shackles travel with me. Yes.
Yes or no?
The shackles travel with me. Yes, they do.
Do you bring them?
In a sense.
Are we talking like
Jesus, Mary
came
and
back
Joseph
the next day, or are we talking like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
I apologize, Mr. Whitman. I'm unfamiliar with the reference. Traveling
pants. Bringing it with you, or is it chasing you?
More apt for the latter than the former.
Cool.
Right. Well, at least now we know what we're looking at of what we need to break.
Look,
this is fine.
That's one thing.
I can figure this out.
That's one whole thing there. We could wrap that up for right now. Short story. The sheriff is coming. We have a video of him where it looks like there's two shadows and there's something large possibly behind him. So he's coming here. I trust him as much as I trust any cop, maybe even a little bit less. So we should understand that, all of us, before we get here. No stories about Romans or Ceylon tea.
Cylon.
Right.
Right,
and
the Cylons.
As River is talking, Thomas is doing everything he can to slip his hand out of that shackle.
Yeah, it comes off pretty easily. More easily than you normally would.
And he takes his pocket square out and he drops it to the floor and puts the pocket square over the shackles.
All right. You know, I'm going to tell the four of you. After we talk with the sheriff, I'm going to go up to my room for a while, and Miss Fox can just wait and take a Xanax. Because I clearly have shit to do today.
Ada, I'm
Apparently.
unsure that any of us should spend time alone.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if you want to say that. I got chores to do today.
How did you already pick up chores? This is a hotel. They do everything for you.
River, I believe
They don't make full-service hotels like that.
All right. Okay.
You hear somebody rap, like the chopsticks, on the door, or shaving a haircut.
Oh.
Is there further discussion that needs to happen before we include the sheriff?
I don't fucking know.
Nope. Come in.
Sheriff Noah.
I look before Sheriff Noah gets in the room. I
Yep.
look down to see if the shackles are still on the floor at the base of the leg.
Yeah, they're still there.
Okay, then I am going to stand up and I'm going to lift up the leg of the chair and I'm going to grab the shackles in my pocket square and I'm going to put it in the pocket of my jacket.
Okay. Just as he comes in, kind of breezes through the door a little. He looks fresh and perky, and you can smell his cologne before you see him. So it's like, morning.
Morning.
Hope you're doing well. Oh, if we lose Ada.
It's been a heck of a morning, Sheriff.
Oh, you're eating. I'm sorry about that.
Perhaps you would like to join us. There's coffee and hot tea.
Some of Sharon's food. Yes, I'd absolutely love that. He sits down across from Thomas, between River and Ada.
I would like to use enhanced awareness and give Sheriff Noah a good old look-see.
Will Garrett be doing the same? Okay.
No, let her use her idea. Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay.
Ripper gets up as soon as he sits down.
Oh, that's okay.
So that's an 18.
Way better than a 9.
Total.
Yeah.
So I think I see some stuff.
Yes. You definitely see some stuff. All right. Before you see the stuff, he sits down. Did anybody speak to him?
Oh, River got up right away and went up to. I'm assuming there's like a little bar with like food, pastries, and stuff like that.
Yes.
Is that kind of continental breakfast style?
Yeah. Continental.
Going up to get something from there, and then is it like what type of table? Is it a circle table?
It's like one of those fold out. Yeah, it's like one of those fold out tables with the cloth over it.
Oh, like a fold out rectangular table.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of like standing as this first part is going on, kind of standing next to the bar, munching on a toaster strudel.
Perfect. Before the questions and the scene continues, Ada, there is a shadow right at his shoulder.
Of course there is.
Because you got so well, you can actually smell it. The same rot, that garbage, tire fire, corpse stink that you smelled and from coming out of that car. The corpse is wearing that uniform, and even bloated and rotted and missing part of its head. There's a vague familiarity between Noah and the corpse at his shoulder.
Okay.
And you can kind of hear it. Look at him. Just look at him. You gotta kill him. I mean, we can't have people like this in our town. I mean, look at that one over there. The glasses. That fucking piece of shit British. And that bitch over there, just giving you the eye. Don't you even go sniffing around that. Noah, meanwhile, is... thank you so much. I really appreciate this. This is great. I'm sorry that we couldn't meet on better circumstances. I mean, but I know I've got some questions. You've got some questions. So how about, this is Willow Hills and some Willow Hills hospitality. How about you have your questions first?
Oof. I will have to think about a question. I don't have one off the top of my head right now. It's been a heck of a morning. Garrett? Thomas?
Yeah, the other three of you probably noticed the blood kind of draining out of Amy's face.
Yeah, and she just you might even see her gaze go like from Officer Noah over and back.
Mr. Noah.
Yes, sir.
The circumstances around our colleague, Mr. Cole, you said that you would enlighten us as to the circumstances.
Right.
Is there any more information than the speculation that you shared with us last evening? You seemed rather flippant.
I apologize for that. It's just we don't have murders around here. At least not like that. Mr. Cole, he was kind of settling into the town. We liked him. He was a good man. A bit eccentric. But definitely didn't deserve what he got. I suspect because he liked to wander through the woods. I mean, everybody does here. But he was always, I found him like in graveyards and stuff like that, taking pictures, sketches, stuff like that. I think he just ran afoul of some of, the people from downstate, the hill folk, mountain folk. They make meth, moonshine, stuff like that. People that probably haven't, seen a toothbrush in 50 years. Those types. And they protect their property well. You can't get rid of them. They're like ticks.
But how was he discovered? Who?
Like I said, people wander around here, walking around. Just a poor couple of city folk. Well, not city folk, town folk. Found the body. Animals got to it, but you could definitely tell it was somebody had worked the poor man over. It was not. I mean, I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't really. At which point, the thing at his shoulder is like, oh yeah, shit like that. Probably wanted to do something like that to him. Don't trust a bitch like that.
It's gotten rather hot in here.
So,
forgive my...
I mean, now here's the weird thing. That's the story that we're kind of, going with. but there are some loose ends. Do you know if he was married? I'm kind of getting conflicting stories.
No, for all the time. For all that I knew him, he never talked about a wife or a long-term partner. He didn't talk about a husband either, for that matter. But he didn't seem like the marrying type.
Okay, it's I just want to make sure that there isn't another body out there waiting to be found. Because we haven't found a wife. I haven't really found any sign of it at the house. I mean, there's some lady things, but forgive me for saying I think that he had a lot of ladies over.
He had a lot of all kinds of people over.
He definitely had a lot of people over.
And that corpse looks over at River. Fucking queer. Gotta kill it. I mean, you gotta teach people like that a lesson, don't you? I mean, they can't come into our fucking town. It's stinking up the place. Even Hillbilly over there with his fucking tattoos probably hasn't. I mean, he probably one of the old folk coming over, affecting our people.
Did you have any questions for us, Sheriff?
Well, beyond the, I mean, if you, did he have any enemies? Or somebody that do something like this?
I don't know. You tell me. Did he owe the hardware store money?
Nothing like that. I mean, he paid really good money. In fact, when he was building that Hyperion house, everybody was like, he's a crazy fella, but I mean, they sure took his money. And he had a lot of it. But as far as I can tell, nothing's gone missing or been stolen. Place looked pretty clean. That's why it's so random.
Where in the woods was he found?
Up near the old caves.
Oh, cave system. What? This isn't connected to the Mammoth cave system, is it?
Oh, ma'am, I couldn't tell you, but I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, this is the Appalachians. It's a possibility, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely. We call them the veins of God. You know, they go everywhere.
How dubious.
That's so poetic.
And Garrett, that one does strike a chord. It's not God, though. It's goddess.
Mm-hmm. I have some research to do later, I think.
It's interesting that people just wander around in the woods, I guess.
Well, it's not like we got much else to do. It's not like we could go to the movie show, you know. I mean,
I suppose that's fair. I guess I'm just used to.
We got the frog, celebration coming up, and that's about it. So.
I'm just from a place where you don't whistle at night, you don't go out at night, you do not wander around in the woods, especially not alone. But that's for a completely different reason.
I mean, that's why we're kind of shocked about all of this, because I mean, normally we don't even lock our doors. I mean, everybody knows everybody, even the newcomers. They find their place and they're accepted, and if they don't, they usually leave. Corpse is starting to creep off of his shoulder and heading towards you. You fucking see me, don't you, bitch? Yeah, you do. You fucking see me.
So through this conversation, River had at least attempted to text Ada and just said, like, What's going on? What do you see? Or do you see the two shadows?
Yeah. When she to look at the text and just
Okay.
Which is probably at about the same time that the shadow is like, "You see me, bitch, don't you?" And she's like,
"Yeah."
Garrett, were you about to say something?
I was gonna ask Caroline if she wanted to solo the spooky thing or if she wanted Garrett to roll enhanced awareness. Like, what do you want to see go?
I would love some help in this. Let's get in this shit together.
Okay, cool. Then I dare say I'd like to roll enhanced awareness. Aware my enhancedness.
All right.
We pulled that out of the fire. Rolled an 8 plus 3 soul turns it into 12.
11.
Yeah. The 11. Illusion tearing at this point would not be good. Yeah.
It'd be a whole bad.
Yeah. Listen, Thomas would have the worst time. I'd be fine. I have endured trauma.
Well, I rolled cursed, and luckily I rolled a 15 earlier, so I'm still able to avoid that bit.
Oh God, I just remember.
You do see a shadow, a very like something just kind of crouching over him, like a devil's advocate whispering into his ear. You can hear kind of a whisper, like it's being spoken through mud. You can't really tell what the words are, but this is one of them old spooks.
Yeah.
Again, it looks, with its one milky eye, looks right. You can see me, can't you? It kind of pulls itself off of Noah, and you can see the sheriff badge, and it says Noah Senior.
Dun dun dun.
You see me, don't you, bitch? Yeah, it's definitely getting closer. That shadow is definitely getting closer to Ada. And the smell, by now, the smell and the rot is just, I mean, you're gagging.
Oh God. Oh. I think I inhaled something.
Ada, darling, you okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is everything all right? I can.
No, it's okay. I just.
Unless do you have any more questions, or? I mean, and again, and he looks over. I do want to apologize if I upset you last night. I didn't mean it. I mean, we're small town folk. We don't need to act like small town folk. At which point that head snaps back. You little fucker. Stop talking to the goddamn queer and fucking pay attention to me.
You know, Sheriff, we are all human. We make our mistakes, and as long as we learn from them and grow to be better people, I think at the end of the day, that's all that matters. We just want our parents to be proud of us.
Well,
usually.
Yeah, he kind of flinches at that. Yeah, I try to do good, and I just want to do good for the town, and anybody that comes to our town, I want them to feel safe, because that's what Willow Hills is about: community and safety. And I'm really sad that this happened to Mr. Cole, and I wish I could do more. So if there is, and he takes out 4 cards, business cards, and pushes them towards, if you can think of anything else that might help me wrap this up and maybe even get some justice, I'd appreciate it. Especially that if you hear anything about that wife or mistress or whoever she is,
Well,
Yeah.
we're going to the will reading today. We'll let you know.
I appreciate that. And you say hello to Gregory for me. He takes care of the place. So
Will do. You're one of the good ones.
thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. He stands up, and that thing, it's almost like it's tethered. It's like pulled, but it's still looking at you, Ada. You can see me, can't you? You can fucking see me, bitch.
As soon as Noah has turned around and just goes, when Noah's faced away, when Officer Noah's faced away, Ada's just.
Yep, and out the door he goes, and the thing goes with it, and it's almost like there's like a breath of fresh air, as if the entire room has been cleaned.
Fucking God, that thing smelled so bad. Oh my.
And
well, I saw a shadow. What'd you see?
I just want to make sure everybody okay.
Ada, darling, are you feeling ill?
Or she's fucking ill. Ada, was it that fucking thing again? Was it here?
Yes. It's his father.
Oh, fuck.
Noah
Senior.
Noah Senior.
I'm
Tied to him, tethered to him, wanted as soon as he saw that I saw him, he did not want to leave the room. And he does not like any of us. And I'm sorry, River, he likes you the least.
Well, fuck him and his fucking cop son.
No count for taste.
I
think Junior's trying to do as well as he can. You just don't.
Oh no, absolutely. I feel bad about the father jab, but I needed to see a reaction.
Yeah, no, fine.
God, it smelled like corpse.
Complete loss. Smell of corpse.
Yes. I don't know how else to describe that. Sometimes I can see things that other people can't. And Garrett apparently can't too. Which is great to know that I'm not just hallucinating. It's been too...
And I've seen crazy enough shit to know that there's more than just what we can rationally see and understand. I mean, I live in fucking New York City, of course.
Of course there is. I mean, if you think about the spectrum of light, right? There's this in the universe. There's this entire spectrum of light, and we as humans can see about 1/28,000th of what is available in the universe in this within this spectrum. There are many things that we are completely unaware of.
It's true,
but can possibly influence us. Correct? Right? And that's just within the spectrum of light.
You are almost there, Thomas. You are so close. You are almost there.
To where?
Just imagine that Ada has some eyes that can see some other fucking spectrums.
So.
And that has a smell. And that has, oh God. Oh.
There is a school of thought that dreams are glimpses into another reality, another plane of existence. I have had acid trips where no one spoke a word, and I held entire conversations. I watched someone pluck the moon out of the sky and put it in his pocket, and he tripped and it fell back into the sky, and we all watched him do it. There are things sometimes we cannot explain that happen, and you can either stare at it and try and rationalize it, or you can say, okay, I'm going to take that at face value and just nod and go along with it.
Listen,
you are so close.
I understand that there's not everything is explained, that we all experience supernatural things, but that does not make them the truth.
It's the truth when you see it, when you let yourself see it.
No, an hallucination caused by LSD or psilocybin or ayahuasca, any of these mind-altering substances, doesn't equate to truth.
But even if I had been on those things when I did have entire conversations without saying a word, hallucinations are one thing. I am stone cold sober. I can prove it if you want me to. And I saw the rotting corpse of Sheriff Noah's father, clinging to him, leaning into me, yelling slurs, telling him to shoot at least all of us at least once. I don't know if it was a ghost, if it was a corpse, if it was something else that I have not seen before. Noah Sr. is around. He is awake and he is angry.
Yeah.
And I have some research to do.
I'm going to roll rationalist.
All right.
Oh, no. Yay!
I'd
like to roll.
I'd like to roll no.
That's an 11.
All right. I want to check. So I got it.
Oh no. Rationalist does some other things with that too. Oh boy.
Sorry, I just gotta check it.
Fine.
I was gonna say, we have made the DM double check notes and or rules.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I printed it all out. So
This is a good thing. We're making the DM think, which means more spookies. Yes, good.
okay.
There are two ways to win, and one of them is to go, okay, I gotta make a note, and the other one is to make the DM swear.
Yep. Okay. What's really... Everybody in the room kind of feels like this tightness. All the colors start to get really more vivid, more real, and harsh. It's almost like being in a hyper-realistic painting or picture. And for a second, it's like, yeah, why would you see a corpse? That just, no, wait a minute, I did.
Thomas reaches into his left pocket. Are the shackles there?
Yes, they're perfectly there, perfectly fine. They haven't moved. Why would they move? Everything is right. Everything is good. You're pretty sure that your friends are nuts, but yeah. Yeah, and for Garrett, this is an even more unpleasant experience. Actually, Garrett and River. For River, it's like you've been doused in sewage. You've got to get out of this room. And for Garrett, it's almost painful. It's like Thomas is like a hot coal in your shoe. It's just like
I cannot stand.
You gotta lean away from him.
I cannot stand listening to your fucking British accent and all of your fancy words for one more fucking second. Ada, come find me after you do your research. I'll probably just be by the pool. And River walks out of the room.
Garrett doesn't follow him out, but follows him out with nothing but a very confused and angry sort of hiss.
Mr. Whitman, does that mean that you don't need assistance with your chores?
He spins on his heel and gives Thomas an astoundingly dirty look. Like one of those glares of like, you know what you did and you're going to pretend like you don't fucking know. You're going to pretend like you don't know what you did. One of those like, you just started the fight and now you're going to act like you didn't do it sort of glares, and says, no, I don't. And now actually properly mad storms out.
And unless Ada has something to say, I think maybe this would be a good spot to take a
I do
quick
have one
breather.
small quip. And Ada just sighs and takes a sip of tea and goes, I'm sorry I snapped at you.
There's no apology necessary.
Still friends.
We are.
As long as we both can admit that we're both insane, then we're fine.
We're not insane. This is not insanity.
Oh, no. Oh, that's worse.
Ada, please believe me. Please believe me when I say that I do have your interests in mind. As for these other two, I am completely devoid of relation and or need. But for you, I care.
Thank you, Thomas. I care about you too. We've been through too much shit. I
And
just want to get home.
It seems we have more to go through before you do get to go home, my dear.
Oh, God. I don't even think we know the half of it.
I did not think that the shackles would cause anyone else issue. And I'm sorry for that grief.
We're gonna talk about the shackles more later.
We're gonna unpack the hell out of that.
Yeah, so River walks out to the front of the hotel and reaches in their pocket and reaches his pocket instinctively and realizes that he forgot his cigarettes, so he is running back up to his room to go get those.
Okay. You go into the room. You're kind of in a hurry and you're still kind of scattered from everything that's been going on. So it takes you a second to realize that the ironing board is out. And you can hear the soft tick, tick, tick of the iron heating. The room shades have been drawn, so it's a little darker in here. The only light is coming from the bathroom. But you can still hear that soft, metallic tick, 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 tick.
Sharon? Look, I didn't need any ironing done. Just slowly walking around the room.
As you come out, you know how the entrances of hotels are. You've got the bathroom, and then you go into the room. You just feel hell and pain and unconsciousness as something electric and hideous stabs you in the side. When you're coming to after being tased, you're on the bed and there's a weight on top of you. It's a woman. At least you think it's a woman. It's hard to tell because whatever acts as hair is covering its face. It looks like more like meat than hair itself. The body is put together crudely, but it's definitely a female form on top. But down below, you can feel an erection stabbing into your belly. It's wet and it stinks of copper and freshly cut meat. And you remember this. You remember this from the Paragon Club. This was the thing that was curled up, fetal and in pain. And it's leaning down on top of you. Give me back. Give it back to me. I need it back.
Are my hands free?
They are, but they're kind of, I mean, you're still sluggish and trying to recover. When you pull, you do notice that they've kind of crudely tried to tie you up with the bed sheets. But when you start to move, they bring something quick and heavy close to your face, and you feel the heat of the iron that they've been preparing.
Get the fuck off me.
You like that pretty face, don't you? I can make you very, very ugly. You fucking move, you little whore, and you will never, ever be able to do all your nasty little shit again. Give me it back. You took it from me. You and him, that little bastard. What do you do?
River's instinct, since there was a cock, there's maybe balls, and would try to kick him in the nuts.
Okay. I guess that's doing violence. So engage in combat.
So I don't know if this would count. One of my advantages is backstab. So whenever I attack someone who's unprepared for it, I don't know if this entity is necessarily unprepared for it.
Yeah, it's probably expecting you to fight.
Okay.
Almost hoping that you'll fight.
Sure. Yes. Absolutely. I don't know what to do. What do we need to do?
Just roll the 2d10 and tell me what the result is. And add your violence.
Add violence.
Roll plus violence.
11. I rolled a 13 minus 2.
So you inflict damage, but at a cost.
Okay.
So you kick it, but then you feel the iron slam you across the top of the head. Fortunately, it's not pressed hard enough to do more than a minor burn. So try to endure injury, which is roll your fortitude.
Oh, okay. 7.
Oh, God. Yeah. The injury is a lot worse than you expected. So your lights just kind of go out from the impact of it. When they come back on, you can feel the raw pain of where they struck you with the iron, and they're heating it up again. They've pulled down your pants, exposing you, and they've tied you to the bed, to the bedposts. Dirty little shit. Dirty dirty, going to burn you, going to
what the
make
fuck do you
ugly. Want? I want it back.
What?
You little fucker. You know, he gave it to you. He took it from me and he gave it to you. You can hear that soft tick, tick as the iron's getting hotter.
Is there anything that River would remember from that night that would give him any sort of indication what this smelly bitch was about to do, or what she wants?
You vaguely, and that, now that you look at it, it's hermaphroditic. It's got all the parts and more parts than it really needs, to be honest. And its body and its muscles are laid bare. You do vaguely remember when this thing was curled in its ball and it was being summoned by those men and those women, the people that Matthias thought were friends or pretended to be friends, the people that weren't really people, is the Lorelei. You remember them praying to this thing. You were supposed to be given over to it, but something in it was given over to you. And you remember it living in your throat, choking you. And then it was gone. Or is it gone? Maybe it's still there. It's starting to come over. Dirty, dirty little whore.
River is struggling against the bonds, absolutely freaking out. And is frantic.
Are you saying
and just calling out for stop. Stop, please, stop.
All right. I need you to just roll your dice and tell me what you get.
Okay.
And try to roll high.
Okay.
Or don't.
Or don't.
Or don't. Am I adding anything to it?
Your soul, I believe.
Soul. 11.
Okay.
Better than a 9.
Better than a 9. It stops. And it just stands there.
Just fucking leave, please.
Its face constricts, and you can see the double set of teeth, almost like a shark, exposed. The absolute hatred. You dirty, dirty whore. Dirty whore. And it starts to back out of the room.
River is...
And you can see it is fighting with everything in it.
I don't know if River even sees this. His eyes are preparing for the worst thing and already starting to scream for help.
At which point it backs into the bathroom. And a few seconds later, the door to your hotel room comes crashing open. Mr. River? Mr. River, are you okay? And the lights come on. Sharon is at your side. It's like, are you all right? What happened?
Just untie me, please.
She hurriedly does. She goes, oh my God, your poor head. Your poor head. I'll get some water. And she heads for the bathroom. Are you doing it?
No.
River is curled up on the bed and pulls the sheets over himself, like kind of protectively, and lightly touches the top of his head.
Oh yeah, it's a jagged burn. Obviously,
And
when they
just kind of,
I mean, not only
yelps.
did you take a hit, but when
Yeah.
they pulled away, obviously a nice chunk was stuck to the iron when they pulled away. You can only imagine what would have happened.
Yeah.
And that's probably when you should probably make it keep it together.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So keep it together.
Yeah.
Keep it together. Where's that?
Plus willpower.
Willpower. Aha. 16.
Okay. Despite
River's been through some shit.
Yes. River's been through some shit. So you grit your teeth and you stay the course. And Sharon's soft touch is at you a moment later. She has a wet, cold towel and she's dabbing the burn. She's, she seems to be very skilled at taking your pain away. She's like, "Oh my God, Mr. River, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I don't know."
Find Ada.
I should stay. I mean, I can find Ada if you want.
I'm fine.
Okay, please. I'm so sorry. I'll find Miss Ada for you.
And in this moment, with that, like keeping it together, I think that the way that he keeps it together is this. All of that fear is transformed into rage and anger and wanting to get back at whatever this thing was.
Okay. Just so you know, you've definitely got a wound. So,
yep.
I will.
Is there anything mechanically that I need to know about that at this point in time?
I just mark a serious wound. Yeah, so you'll be at -1 ongoing from this point forward.
Okay.
When the burn and the pain really start to set in. And then we'll switch over to Garrett. Where is Garrett at this point?
Unless something he doesn't know about compels him, he's actually probably headed to his truck. Because he wants to look up the whatever it is, the veins of God.
Mm-hmm.
That's familiar enough that he wants to go nosing through an old book or 60.
All right, and I believe you have a cult library, so
yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just me. I'm kind of picturing it that Garrett's got like that pull out from that they have the trucks, and it's all stacked inside, locked up, probably books and tomes and stuff.
Oh, sure.
Or is it, rather than tools? I mean,
no, that's fine. You're making my life easier. I had something far more immobile in my mind. I will absolutely take a portable occult library. I'm thrilled.
Okay.
So I need to roll plus reason. Do I have any reason? Not much.
Not much.
-1. I roll a 10 total. That was close.
Oof. Okay. Sorry, I just need to look it up. Okay. So you can ask me one question. And we can do a variance thereof. So.
Well, I think he's going to. I don't. Like, what must I do to protect myself from this is probably the best one on the list.
Okay.
But I'm trying to decide which this he's the most worried about.
Yeah, there's a lot of thises.
Yeah. I think probably he's gonna try for big picture.
Okay. That inkling in the back of your head, and from what you were talking to your uncle with the veins of the goddess, that's more down your path. The mother apparently has wormed her way through most of the earth and the forests. The veins are portals into her heart. Sometimes you can go into her heart, and sometimes what dwells in her heart comes out.
Yeah.
The best way to protect yourself is your standard. You've got your rituals and your protective symbols, but it's definitely, if it's the veins of the goddess, that's probably connected to the witches and the tree spirit that your uncle is always kind of praised.
That old time religion.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you an extra. When I say that something comes out, sometimes owls seems to be a major thing. But the way it's written, owls might be a metaphor. It's basically something that watches from the trees. It's all-knowing, and it lives in her branches and then goes back into her heart, into the veins of the goddess, to relay information or to carry souls to it.
He finds that information slotting far too easily and uncomfortably into the context he already has. And kind of shuts whatever fifth book he needed to reference and wraps it back in the the Walmart shopping bag that suffices for his oilcloth. Tucks it away and then reaches in and pulls out a couple of jars that are distressingly empty. Glares at them pretty viciously and really does need to do chores. Actually, he wasn't just talking out his ass. He actually needs to do some things. Okay. And he needs to do a lot of it because now he's got 3 other people to keep from getting whatevered until this gets figured out.
And is that how you're going to be spending the next little while beyond the reading? Or are you going to head back towards the group?
He is not going to leave without saying something. So he'll probably head back either into if the green room is now empty, he'll probably just hang out on the balcony, kind of like in either the hallway or he'll be findable. Okay. Easily findable to everyone else as they kind of walk around and execute their plans.
All right. Then I'm going to go over to Thomas. What's Thomas up to?
I have stayed in the green room, finished my breakfast. Slowly stirring my tea, waiting for Sharon to come in and begin to clean up.
She does at one point.
What an absolutely lovely spread this morning. I thank you This was over the top for us. I'm so very grateful to your hospitality.
You're so sweet. Thank you very much, Mr. Thomas. I want to make you all feel welcome. This is our town, and you're here under terrible circumstances. So I wanted you to feel safe.
And we all can greatly appreciate your concern for us and our current situation. I do have one short question for you.
Of course. And she's busying to get the stuff away.
This morning, as I was getting ready and I had completed my shower and such, there was I can't think of the right term. Presence, possibly, in the room. I just felt some kind of pressure, I guess. Anything in particular that I should know about where I'm staying, previous residence?
Are you kind of using, or are you just being polite, or are you going to be using any forcefulness?
I am definitely going to be using my charisma to and the goodwill that I have built up with Miss Sharon to attempt to influence her, if at all possible.
Yeah, just give me a random, let's see, charisma roll. Yeah.
That's 12.
Okay. So you can, yeah, she'll give in. I am so sorry, Mr. Thomas. Sometimes people complain about that. We had a misfortune there several years ago, and, well, sometimes people say it's haunted. I don't believe in the spooks and goblins, but...
Well, yes, there's no such thing as ghosts.
So... But people do occasionally say that there's a heaviness to the room. And I apologize for that.
You need not apologize for a thing. It was almost like the barometric pressure changed or something. Perhaps the the humidity, the air conditioner. I'm quite unsure. I had taken an extremely hot shower, so it could have been, but it just there was a feeling of some sort. What I apologize. I cut you off. This haunting, you say?
I do apologize. There was a writer some years back. He rented the room, and he seemed like a nice fellow. I didn't really think that he was that sad, but he shot himself in the bathtub. And ever since, we replaced everything, and the room has been redone. I promise you that. Yes, I do apologize.
And how long ago was this tragedy?
About 8 years ago. He was some kind of travel writer, I believe. Doing some research and just. I guess he just came back from the mountain one day, and it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Noah Sr., I think, was, yes, he'd had some words with the gentleman, which is equally sad. Poor Noah Jr. But even small towns have, their tales, as they say. But I can absolutely move you if you feel
that is completely unnecessary, Sharon. That is completely unnecessary. I'm fine where I am. Thank you. The again, I apologize for drumming this up. I just was curious. I had no idea how impactful this retelling would be for you. So please, just forget I said anything.
She looks like she's just heard something. I better go check on that. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. And like I said, if you need anything else, I'll absolutely do it. And she kind of hurries out, seeming slightly concerned.
And as she leaves, he takes out his notebook and begins scratching some things down. And then reaches into his left pocket. Are the shackles still in the pocket?
The shackles are still there. That's where they should be. Therefore, they are.
He takes them out, stands up, walks over to the trash can, drops them in the trash can, and leaves the room and goes upstairs.
Okay. That's just around the exact same time. We'll slightly switch to Ada. As you're coming, I guess you were near the pool? Or where were you?
I had been planning to go back up to my room. I need to get to my laptop. I have some spooky things to do, some dark bidding on the internet.
Okay, so you're on your internet, probably got the headphones on and everything.
I've opened up the laptop. I have actually put on a shawl over my head. I have lit the incense, both the blue box and the red box, because I'm superstitious and the electric bacon says this will help. Because I'm talking to weird people on a weird browser that Matthias showed me how to use.
Perfect. Okay. So, just how about you roll your access the dark web?
The dark web. Oh boy.
Oh,
that is a 20 total, folks.
Oh, okay, that's the good one. All right. So at that, you discover what you're looking at. Yeah, you definitely discover what you're looking for. Is there a specific question that you're looking for, or a person that you want to make contact with, or information?
I want information about Willow Hills. I know a senior or what he is. I'm open to anything because I realize I'm trying to figure out what do I actually want aside from information give.
Just so you know, as soon as you do Willow Hills, it does come up that the town was actually created by the Klein family. I mean, it has a bit of a history to it. You're starting to get documents, but the main one is that the Klein family was like this big logging company. They were trying to completely, strip the area of its oak trees and such. However, they had some tragedies, deaths in the family, and one of the older Kleins basically decided to replenish the trees, which is really strange. 100 and some years ago, that people are trying to replant, actually care about the environment. But that's why they call it Willow Hills, is that they transported willows to the area and then planted them. And they've, it's not natural for them to be here, but they seem to flourish, which gave it its name. I mean, you got the other stuff that, it used to be like a logging, before it was a logging town, it was like a fur trading town. During the, even going further back to the French Indian Wars, that it used to be like a trading post that got wiped off the map. Stuff like cannibalism or disease or things like that.
Got so many, there's so many different things that I could possibly go down, because I'm curious about what or who old Lilith is. I really want to know what the fuck Noah Senior what that is, because
that one's
I don't
easy.
think ghosts look like that.
Yeah, that one is actually easy to find.
Yeah, this, dark shadow entities that are tied to other things. I am going into the weird parts of the internet. I am talking to people I probably should not be talking to. God, I hope they're people.
Yeah, you're getting some chatter. I mean, this is only a few minutes and before other things happen, but you're starting to get some chatter. Get the hell out. That place is cursed. People like you are not safe there. They like to kill witches. And around this time, between Thomas and Garrett coming back to the building, you hear Sharon come bolting out of River's room, screaming for Miss Ada.
Shit. I'll tell them to, I will be back for more information, I promise. Slam. And I will burst out the door.
So, yeah, all of you kind of hear that. You miss Sharon's frantic voice calling for Miss Ada, depending on where you're standing in the hotel. I mean, it is a small hotel, so you can kind of hear it. I'm not sure how you wish to react.
She throws off the veil. What is it? What? Sharon.
Mr. River's been hurt. He's asking for you, but he should really see a doctor.
Can you get a town doctor? Is there a doctor in town?
I can. Yes, I can absolutely do that.
Bring him here. Bring them here.
I'll go get Mr. Lynch or Dr. Lynch. Yes, absolutely. Great. And she comes rushing down the stairs, probably past Thomas and Garrett, if Garrett's returning to the building. And she gives you the same kind of hurried, the hurried report that Mr. River has been hurt. So I'll let you arrive at Ada first.
Yeah, I burst through.
And the others,
I burst through the door
whenever you want. So yeah, you find River curled up on the bed, I believe.
Probably by this time, even though it's just been a few moments, that resolve change in River has kind of clicked them back into the I'm not fucking going down like this in some backwoods place. I'm from fucking New York City, for God's sake. And is standing up at the mirror in the bathroom, inspecting whatever just happened to their head. There's a bottle of whiskey on the top of the toilet, with at least a quart of it gone, and a big fucking rail.
Oh.
Yeah, it's definitely a burn and a very ugly bruise starting to well up around it. I mean, it's still it's a very ugly wound.
River?
how much was in that bottle when you started drinking it this morning?
That's what you're fucking worried about right now, you fucking bitch.
No. Look at me. Look at me. Look at.
Yeah, I'm here.
Follow the finger. Don't move your head. You have a head wound and you are drinking and you have just done a fountain. You have a fountain pen sized line set out for yourself. I have a doctor on the way.
Should fucking clean this shit up then.
Dude, not with your face.
No, okay.
I am concerned because alcohol poisoning and also a concussion and a burn, not super great. This is why I didn't go into medical school.
Yeah.
Don't mind the grades, but just...
I need to tell you something.
Okay.
Remember...
Did the others want to arrive around now?
Yeah. They're just, I imagine, just kind of coming in as River starts this exposition.
I left the door open. I'm sure that they're just wandering in.
Yes.
Remember when I told you about the night at the Paragon Club?
Yeah, a little bit. That some freaky shit happened. That it was a fucked up kink club.
The freaky shit that happened fucking did this to me. There is something absolutely here. Something that Matthias called into being. There was a ritual that night. People calling out for, it was out of character. It was for Lorelei.
The Lorelei are the
Lorelei.
actual, the Lorelei are the people that were helping him. They didn't, the name that they used was like a Astula? Atula? You can't really recall it, just the word keeps on fading in and out.
River does his best to repeat that and relate. Remember, I was telling you about the Lorelei?
Yes.
It was something that Matthias was going on and on about. I don't know, whatever that fucking thing was, it did this to me. Said that I had taken something from it. But this fucking ritual was crazy. And River looks over at Garrett to see what his reaction, or like, what is your disposition, or like, what is your response to hearing River go into what they saw at this place and describing what they remember about the ritual?
Garrett is a lot of things, but stone-faced is not one of them. He started listening with that kind of like, oh shit, what did you do? And now it's mostly just, oh shit. Like the blood has started draining from his face, and actually one of his hands is like, as he's, if he goes to do something, you can see that it's slightly visibly shaking, but from rage or fear, it is not certain. But he is not surprised.
You've seen things like this before, haven't you?
Close enough, yeah.
What could it possibly want from me?
Do you know what you took?
No,
what was given? What?
It was something that Matthias was working on. He was always sharing me with his colleagues, but there was something to do with this ritual, and I was supposed to be given. Instead, I received. And I just felt some sort of a sensation in my throat, but I'm sorry, Ada. There was just so much going on that night. I really can't remember much.
Going down your throat or on the skin?
Or just like sitting in?
It was like something was wrapping around your vocal cords or your larynx and just swelling like it wanted to get out.
Ooh.
Ada, you've heard me say something like this before, but it was inside my throat.
Okay. I don't have any answers right now. I mean, you know as well as anyone that I have gaps in my memory. At least now I have a firm idea of where to research, what to research, where to look, who or what to talk to.
And who is it that you plan to talk to, Ada?
I don't know what they're called, what it's called, but I know where to find it. I was probably talking to it a little earlier.
River, it seems that you are mostly clear on the details of that evening. How many of I don't even know if you could identify them, the Lorelei, you brought them up. How many of the Lorelei were there?
How many would I have possibly been able to see?
At least a dozen.
A dozen, maybe more. It's just, I will never forget that smell. It smelled like what I imagine like when they open up a tomb smells like. Old.
Wet or dry?
Yeah, that is a
loamy.
Wet.
Earth.
Not rotten, but rotted. Old.
Yeah.
Damp.
Wet.
Yes.
Like something from the earth, that we're really deep down in the earth that's been forgotten.
Oh God. Deep down in the earth, like cave mouths, like caiman mouths, big,
Ada,
wet,
you are spiraling.
Open, gaping mouth.
Ada,
God.
Ada, you are spiraling.
Sorry, the doctor is on his way.
I'm going to get dressed. Gentlemen, you may leave. Unless you want a show, in which case you have to pay for it.
I'll leave you to it.
I'm going to see if I can't put something together to keep this from happening again.
That sounds great. If we don't have to go to any locations, that would probably be better, but we might have to get out of this damn hotel.
There's a visible like audible sigh of relief that like unexpectedly comes from River. He was kind of like wanting to put up some sort of like a hard line just as like protection, but at the mention of that there's something that could possibly be done, just looks over at Garrett, kind of like confused, and you can, what? You know how to do stuff about, like, prevent that?
No promises, but I got a couple granny recipes in the book I can give a try.
And grabs the bottle of whiskey and takes another big pull.
Stop that. I'm trying to take it from him.
I'm not going to let you take it from me.
Yeah, no, that's fine. She doesn't try that hard, but she's like...
Okay.
Thomas walked out of the room and pulls his phone from his pocket, and you see him sending a text message. And it reads, Matthias wrapped up with the Lorelei. More help may be necessary. Oh. And sends it off.
Okay. Almost instantly, which is really weird. Explain.
And I type up a brief explanation of what I just heard from River around the Paragon room. Is that what it's called? Paragon room?
Paragon Club, yeah.
Paragon Club. And the brief explanation of what was described by Ada, according to the notes that I took.
You get back, Paragon Club, high risk, observations constant, adding River, sorry, it's River Tam?
River Zane.
Zane, sorry. It's late. River Zane to watch list. Observe. And then it just says voice with a question mark. And then this really, you've seen this symbol on some letterhead that's usually considered top secret in Themis House. That pops up. So it's more of a warning to you. Just keep this under wraps.
And I respond back, noted, and put my phone away.
Perfect. The doctor comes, looks at, I'm just going to summarize, comes to look at River. The injury is more painful than it is actually severe. It's going to give you a lot of pain over the next little while, but there's no concussion as far as the doctor can tell. Dr. Lynch seems to know what he's talking about. He probably sees enough. He explains that he's seen enough people getting kicked by a horse. Your head is a lot harder than most, so you're in good shape. But you probably want to take some aspirin, get some bed rest, and don't go partying, he says. Of course, Sharon dotes on you for the rest of the afternoon. It's when Fox finally comes back, looking at her watch. You're gonna be calling this a day? Do you want me to get you out there? Everything okay? I heard there was some violence or something like that.
You are the one who has delayed our trip to Hyperion House. We have been expecting you since 11 a.m. this morning, and please understand that, no. Do not take my kindness for weakness. Your lack of time management is the one causing the issue. We have experienced some things this morning that may have been averted had you been on time.
All right. Okay. I almost feel a little aroused at the moment. But yeah.
You know what? Same, sister.
Okay. I've made the arrangements. The groundskeeper will take you out there. He can guide you inward. If you're all right, we can go out. If not, I can make new arrangements. Are we good?
Is anyone else interested in spending any more time within these walls today?
I would love to do some sightseeing. River, do you feel up to it? We can get you some darker sunglasses if you want.
Oh, River has changed.
Oh, absolutely.
And is where so it's like a fedora with like a very dark veil, even more opaque than the last one.
Wow.
And like a basically like the puffy shirt from Seinfeld, but black and like very deeply cut in the front, with like gold bands on either side.
Oh my God, this is beautiful. I love this man so much.
And like high-waisted long pants, like suit pants, like power suit, but like high-waisted.
I'm almost sad that they're not shorts.
Yeah, you're getting a few stares from the townsfolk. You see one mother cover her child's eyes as they go
bark at them.
It's okay. Ada is
get
showing
some fucking culture.
Legs, so
there's a tall, like 6'3" gentleman in probably his 60s or 70s. He is one Edward Munster looking motherfucker. Just, he's got the overalls, looks like he's 40 miles of hard road. He's standing beside his truck, which looks older than him. He is just laughing his ass off. You gotta be them. You're Matthias's friends, aren't you? I'm Gregory Lux. Immediately goes to Garrett, extends his hand.
Garrett.
His hand kind of swallows yours, shakes it firmly. Goes over to River, same thing. Thomas. And then he tips his hat to Miss Ada. Miss Fox has told me that you need to get out to Hyperion House. Don't you worry. We'll get you there safe. None of them trees moving around. Just follow my tail. Stay close. I don't want to be losing you out there. I promised Mr. Cole that I get you there safe and sound.
Did you now?
Yes, sir. He's told me all about you. Don't you worry.
Oh, all bad things, I'm sure.
Oh, you've got Mr. River over here. Yeah, there's some stories. Don't you worry. We're good.
Gregory, you seem to have a familiarity with us. I would ask that you forego that. We are not friends.
Understood. He told me he'd probably be like that. And he gets into his truck.
Mr. Whitman, an aside.
Miss Ada, an aside. Let's go.
Are we riding together?
You can hop in if you want.
I would recommend that we all stay in the same vehicle.
Yeah, one car means less chance of, there's either...
With the amount of difficulty we had in finding this place, I would recommend that we all stick together.
Yeah, fewer cars to get lost.
Sure. I probably shouldn't drive anyways.
I can drive. Because River,
Is it even a four-seater?
Huh?
Oh yeah,
Is it even a four-seater? I thought it was a sports car.
This only has 2 seats. We should.
Oh, yeah. God.
We're not right in.
Go
There.
Thomas. Thomas.
We're taking Thomas's car.
Everybody crams into the Kia.
Yeah.
River, like there's
God.
No one quite knows who's sitting on whose lap in the back.
Thomas flips open his notebook and presents it to Garrett. And there is a string of heptagrams linked together, the same symbols that wrap around the outside of the shackles. Do you recognize this series?
I'll let you do an intuition. Like, just
do a think about it. Okay.
Let those hamsters run on that wheel.
13.
It's odd that those symbols are on that particular set of shackles, because the shackles look a lot older, but the symbols seem to be ones that were used to bind witches, like the witch finder kind of symbols. And they've been.
So what was that? 15 mumble?
Yeah.
16
mumble.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the shackles are definitely a lot older, and they've probably been recommissioned. But the
I'm not showing him the shackles. I am showing him a drawing in the notebook of the string of heptagrams.
Yeah, then you would not
that wind around the shackles.
Yeah, you would recognize those as witch binding symbols then.
These are for locking up witches. This is like Puritan Witchfinder General stuff. This is 400 years ago.
Yes, devil traps.
Devil traps.
I don't have.
Improperly trained wiretap.
Got a terrible wiretap. Why does it activate at devil traps? What? You know what? I don't want to know. Never mind.
Any help in there's a bit that I have been able to uncover around this particular band, but any insight?
Well, I can tell you two things for sure. One, they work. Two, you come near me with them, and I will peel you.
They are not for you.
Very good. I'm starting to feel like we're in the last 10 moves of a chess game that we didn't get invited to until the 11th to last move.
It's a fair assessment.
You know, you walk in, how did he know it was going to be us? How did he plan to send the old man out to get us? It's like, aside from the dream, it sounds like he expected to die.
I believe Matthias was bringing together a collection of things to hopefully prevent that ending.
You can't.
But I believe he also knew that it was inevitable. Delaying it, I believe, was his intention for as long as possible. At least that is my summation based on the objects that he has slowly been acquiring over the last decade.
You can't do it. You know, you can do it, but you don't want to do it. Price is way too high.
That it is.
We got to make sure that we're not that price.
Up ahead, you can see Gregory's truck slowly starting to pull out of the parking lot. Miss Fox gets into her car to follow.
I guess I'm driving. I apologize. Clicks it beeps. You hear the locks undo in the Kia. Little terracotta colored 4-door piece of shit. Shall we?
Let's. Also, for those of you playing at home, Matthew Hopkins was Witchfinder General from 1644 to 1647.
Excellent.
3 years.
And a sumbitch the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every minute of it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
probably every minute before and every minute after.
When he died, he was no older than maybe 28. Maybe. Just a young shithead.
So Ben Shapiro.
Nice. As you're pulling, I'm assuming you're pulling out. Ada,
yeah, we're all piling in and we're pulling out.
You get a ding, ding, ding on your special phone. And it's probably from one of your contacts on the web. And it's just like a text message. And it's a picture. Well, it's text and an actual image of your favorite crocodile. And the words, "Veins of the God?" ?
Wait, did I got the text?
Yeah.
I hate this state. I hate this town. I hate this stupid cave system.
As you're driving it.
Yep.
Blast. There's a blast that sneaks its
And I
way
will
over.
hand over. I will show the text to River.
As you're driving out of town, following them, you can see all these ceramic frogs, these large, very garishly painted ceramic frogs lining the streets. And the celebration, it seems to be some kind of frog celebration about the lake monster or some old creature. But as you keep going, for Ada, all you can really see is that the frogs aren't really frogs; they're more crocodilian. Just these squat, horrible,
they're not
caiman-like. Yeah.
They're not frogs.
For Garrett, as you go out into the forest, you can kind of see the trees pushing forward, as if sniffing, searching, waiting. And as the camera pulls back out, heading towards the mountain, the shadows start to get darker and deeper. And we keep on seeing the willows slowly swaying in a non-existent breeze as they've drunk deep of something far down below them. Blood of things best forgotten. but always remembered. And their memories are very long. And they're coming back. Because the four have come and they disturbed something that they don't want to know about. Some of them don't even want to believe it. But it believes in them. And it needs them. Especially the one with the voice. And we'll call it there.
The change that you've been looking for will come knock on your door.